Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. I am happy to welcome you all for our online teaching academy Ekalaiva. Class 10, subject biology, unit 16, plant and animal hormones. In the previous class, we discussed about pituitary gland. You know very well, there are 7 glands are there in human body. The first and the foremost master gland is pituitary. It is present in the skull, that is just near to the hypothalamus. It is located in between the forebrain and the hindbrain. It is located in the midbrain. Okay. So, the pituitary gland controls and coordinates the all other glands. In the last class, we completely discussed about the pituitary gland and hormones of pituitary. Now, we are going to see the second gland, that is thyroid gland. The thyroid gland is composed of 2 distinct lobes. Lobes is nothing but compartment, 2 different compartments lying on each, that is lying on either side of the trachea. Trachea is nothing but throat. This part is called trachea. Thyroid gland is present or having 2 different lobes that lying one on either side. This side one lobe and this side another lobe. 2 lobes are present or lying in the trachea. The 2 lobes are connected by means of narrow band of tissue known as isthmus. See, this is called thyroid gland. This part is called trachea. This is called thyroid cartilage. So, thyroid gland composed of 2 lobes. These 2 distinct lobes are lying on either side of the trachea. So, these lobes are lying either side of the trachea. Okay. And these 2 lobes are connected by means of narrow tube, narrow band of tissue called isthmus. The gland is composed of, the thyroid gland is composed of granular follicles and lined by cuboidal epithelium. The follicles are filled with colloid materials called thyroglobulin. An amino acid thyroxine. So, amino acid thyroxine combined with iodine to form the thyroid gland. An amino acid tyrosine and iodine are involved in the formation of thyroid gland. The hormones of thyroid gland. Thyroid gland synthesize 2 different hormones. One is called triiodothyroxine. The first one is triiodothyroxine and the second one is tetraiodothyroxine. So, triiodothyroxine, it is marked as T3 and another one tetraiodothyroxine, it is marked as T4. So, the tetraiodothyroxine is also called as thyroxine. See the picture of thyroid gland. I already said this part is called thyroid cartilage and this part is called trachea. The two lobes are lying on either side of the trachea, that is called thyroid gland. Okay, so this thyroid gland lying on either side of the trachea. Functions of thyroid hormone. The functions of thyroid hormones are, the first one, production of energy by maintaining the basal metabolic rate. Basal metabolic rate, that is BMR of the body. It helps to maintain normal body temperature, is a very important point. The thyroid hormone helps to maintain the normal body temperature. It influences the activity of central nervous system. So, all the actions by the central nervous system, that is brain and spinal cord, is influenced by the hormones of thyroid. That means thyroid hormones. Fourth one, it controls the growth of the body and the bone formation. It is essential for the formation of normal body structure, growth, bones development. Okay. So next one, essential for normal physical, mental and personality development. It is also known as personality hormone. This is a very important one more question. Which hormone is referred to as personality hormone? So the hormone, thyroid hormone, is known as personality hormone. And last one, it regulates the cell metabolism. Each and every cell having their own metabolism. Metabolism is nothing but a chemical reactions, actions. Catabolism and anabolism combines together to form a metabolism. Okay, so it regulates, thyroid hormone regulates the cell metabolism. Thyroid dysfunction. Thyroid hormone dysfunction. Dysfunction means the synthesis may increase or decrease. What are the complications takes place in the body? So thyroid dysfunction, when the thyroid gland fails to secrete normal level of hormones, the condition is known as thyroid dysfunction. Again I am repeating, the thyroid gland, you know very well, two lobes lying just in each side of the trachea, that is called thyroid gland. The thyroid gland fails to secrete the normal level of thyroid hormone, that is, the condition is called thyroid dysfunction. It leads to the formation of conditions such as hypothyroidism and another one is called hyperthyroidism. Hypo means increased, first one is hypothyroidism and second one is hyperthyroidism, HYPER, hyperthyroidism. Hypo means decreased secretion of thyroid hormone, the hyper means increased secretion of thyroid hormone. Increased also problem, decreased also problem. The normal level only maintain the steady state. Okay. The first one is hypothyroidism. Hypo means decreased secretion, decreased level of secretion. So hypo means decreased secretion. It causes due to decreased secretion of thyroid hormones. The abnormal conditions are simple goiter, cretinism, and third one is myxedema. So goiter, simple goiter, cretinism and the myxedema. These three are the disorders mainly caused due to decreased secretion of thyroid hormone. Again I am telling, simple goiter, cretinism and myxedema. These three are the disorders caused mainly due to decreased secretion of thyroid hormone. Clear? The first one is goiter. How you have to pronounce? Goiter. It is caused due to inadequate supply of iodine in our body, that is in our diet. So, it is mainly goiter is a disorder caused due to inadequate supply of iodine in our food, in our diet. Okay. This is commonly prevalent in Himalayan regions due to low level of iodine content in the soil. It leads to, the goiter leads to the enlargement of thyroid gland. See here, see the picture, the enlargement of thyroid gland takes place in the trachea. So, due to goiter, the enlargement of thyroid gland takes place, which protrudes as a marked swelling in the neck. So much of big swelling in the neck, very large swelling in the neck, and it is also called as goiter. So, enlargement of thyroid gland in the neck region is called as goiter. So, it leads to, it means decreased level of thyroid hormone leads to enlargement of thyroid gland, which protrudes as a marked swelling in the neck region, that is called goiter. See the picture here, the lady have very large enlarged thyroid gland in the trachea, this is called goiter. The next one is cretinism. It is also one of the disorder mainly caused due to decreased secretion of thyroid hormone. So, cretinism is caused due to decreased secretion of thyroid hormone in children, the very important point. So, this type of disorder occurs only in the children. The conditions are stunted growth. Stunted growth means the particular child will not grow, okay, very low height, and then mental defect, mental disability, lack of skeletal development, and deformed bones. So, these are all the conditions of cretinism. So, cretinism is also one of the disorder caused mainly due to decreased secretion of thyroid hormone in children. See the picture here, they have a child having stunted growth and lack of mental defects. So, the skeletal, the bones will not develop properly, deformed bones takes place. All these are mainly due to a decreased secretion of thyroid hormone. Clear, children? The third one is myxedema. Myxedema is also one of the disorder. It is caused due to deficiency of thyroid hormone in adults. So, it only occurs in the adults. They are mentally sluggish, increase in body weight, puffiness of the face and hand, and edematous appearance. They have very big size of face. They have increased puffiness, the weight puffiness, everything seen in the body. So, due to decreased secretion of thyroid hormone. So, this type of disorder only occurs in the adult. So, what are the main conditions? Sluggish, mentally they are mentally sluggish, increase in body weight, puffiness of the face and hand. So, the hand and face became just puff, and then edematous appearance, they show a very large in size. The second is hyperthyroidism. As I said earlier, hyper means increased secretion of thyroid hormone. Okay. So, it is caused due to excess. Excess is nothing but increased secretion of thyroid hormones, which leads to very important one, Graves' disease. So, Graves' disease is nothing but it is caused mainly due to increased secretion, that above the normal level secretion of thyroid hormone. Okay. The symptoms are protrusion of the eyeballs. See here, that particular men having a protrusion of eyeball. So the protrusion of eyeball mainly due to excess secretion of thyroid hormone. Second condition is increased metabolic rate, high body temperature, profuse sweating, loss of body weight and nervousness. So these are all the symptoms of Graves' disease. Graves' disease is nothing but it is caused mainly due to increased secretion of thyroid hormone. The next third gland is parathyroid. Parathyroid. How you have to pronounce? Parathyroid. The parathyroid glands are four small oval bodies. Four small oval bodies that are situated on the posterior surface of the thyroid lobes. As I discussed earlier, thyroid lobes are located or situated in the trachea, each on either side. They have two lobes, one lobe having one side and another lobe situated in the next opposite side. So parathyroid means it is a type of gland having four small oval shaped bodies situated on the posterior surface of the thyroid lobes. The chief cells of glands are mainly concerned with the secretion of parathormone. Parathyroid gland secretes parathormone. See the picture here. This is a parathyroid gland. Small four oval shaped body, that is called the parathyroid gland. It is situated on the posterior side of the lobe. Okay, this is called the trachea. This region is called thyroid gland. Thyroid gland have two lobes that lie in either side of the trachea. Functions of parathormone. The parathormone regulates calcium and phosphorus metabolism in the body. It acts on bone, kidney and intestine to maintain blood calcium levels. So the main function of parathormone is it regulates the calcium and phosphorus metabolism in the body. Okay. Parathyroid dysfunction, that means the low secretion, okay, abnormal secretion of parathormone, that is called the parathyroid dysfunction. So removal of parathyroid gland during thyroidectomy, that means the removal of thyroid causes decreased secretion of parathormone. The conditions are muscle spasm known as tetany, that means sustained contraction of muscle in face, larynx, hands and feet. Second condition, painful cramps of the upper muscles. So all these are the symptoms of the parathyroid dysfunction. The next one is pancreas. We completed pituitary gland, thyroid gland and parathyroid gland. The fourth gland which is present in the abdominal region, that is very near to the stomach, is pancreas. It is also called as islets of Langerhans. You already heard the word pancreas. Pancreas is a gland. They have dual nature. One part of the pancreas acts as a endocrine gland and other part of the pancreas acts as a exocrine gland. Now we are going to discuss this pancreas in detail. Listen very carefully, children. Pancreas is an elongated yellowish gland situated in the loop of the stomach. That means it is very close near to the stomach. And duodenum. Duodenum is one of the part of the small intestine. Small intestine has three parts: duodenum, jejunum and ileum. So this pancreas is situated in between the loop of the stomach as well as the first part of the small intestine, that is called duodenum. It is exocrine and endocrine in nature. As I said earlier, pancreas acts both endocrine as well as exocrine. One part of the pancreas acts as endocrine gland and other part of the pancreas acts as exocrine gland. The exocrine pancreas secretes pancreatic juice, which plays a very important role, main role in the digestion. So exocrine means the some part of the pancreas acts as a exocrine. Exocrine part secretes pancreatic juice. The pancreatic juice is nothing but enzymes. This pancreatic juice is very essential for digestion. Whereas the endocrine portion of pancreas mainly made up of islets of Langerhans. So endocrine part made up of islets of Langerhans. That islets of Langerhans secretes hormones. Okay. See the picture of pancreas. This is the duodenum, the first part of the small intestine. This is the pancreas. This part is called islets of Langerhans. This is called blood vessels, a leaf-like structure situated very near to the stomach and the small intestine, that is duodenum. The islets of Langerhans consist of two types of cells, namely alpha cells and another one is beta cells. The endocrine part of the pancreas has islets of Langerhans. The islets of Langerhans consist of two types of cells. One is called alpha, the first one is called alpha cell, second one is called beta cells. Alpha cells secretes glucagon, whereas beta cells secretes insulin. The glucagon and insulin both are hormones. Alpha cell secretes glucagon and beta cell secretes insulin. Then functions of pancreatic hormones. Pancreatic hormone is nothing but the hormone which is synthesized by pancreas, endocrine part of pancreas. Okay. A balance between insulin and glucagon production is necessary for the maintenance of blood glucose concentration. So they must have the balance between glucagon and insulin. These two maintain our blood sugar level, that is blood glucose level. Okay. The first one is insulin. Insulin helps in the conversion of glucose into glycogen. Okay. Morning you are having breakfast. At sharp 1 o'clock you feel hungry to eat afternoon lunch. The morning we had breakfast, no, that breakfast contains all the essential nutrients, along with that carbohydrate is also one of the essential nutrients. The carbohydrate means the glucose. The glucose is converted into energy, and then the rest of the glucose is converted into glycogen, and this glycogen is stored in liver and muscles. At break 1 o'clock time, lunch time, if you not having the lunch means the stored glycogen breaks and it converts into change into glucose. From the glucose we are getting energy. That is the process. So insulin plays a vital role in the conversion of glucose into glycogen. Insulin helps in the conversion of glucose into glycogen, which is stored in the liver as well as in the skeletal muscles. Skeletal muscles is nothing but the muscles which is associated with the bones. They are said to be skeletal muscles. So the conversion of glucose into glycogen by the action of insulin. Clear children? Yes. Once the glucose is converted into glycogen, the glycogen is stored in the liver as well as in the skeletal muscles. Second point, insulin also promotes the transport of glucose into the cells. So glucose is essential for all the cells. It has to transport to various parts of the body. So insulin plays a vital role in the transport of glucose into the cell. Third one, it decreases the concentration of glucose in blood. So excess amount of glucose is converted into glycogen. So the very important one, insulin decrease the concentration. That means excess amount of glucose. Insulin decrease the concentration of glucose in the blood. It is a very important point. Okay. The next one is glucagon. Glucagon helps in the breakdown of glycogen into glucose in the liver. So glucagon is a hormone. The glucagon hormone converts or breaks the glycogen into glucose, and then from the glucose we are getting energy. Clear? Glucagon helps in the breakdown of glycogen. Glycogen is stored in the liver as well as in the skeletal muscle. Okay, it increases the blood glucose level. So glucagon increase the blood glucose level, insulin decrease the blood glucose level. Okay. The next one is diabetes mellitus. The deficiency of insulin hormone causes a diabetes mellitus. It is characterized by increased blood sugar level, that is called hyperglycemia. Hyper means, wherever you heard the word hyper means increased secretion. Second one is excretion of excess glucose in the urine. So when the blood have excess amount of glucose means automatically the excess glucose is excreted in the urine, that is called glycosuria. Third one, frequent urination. The person who is having a diabetic mellitus, he or she have a regular interval often taking urination, that is frequent urination, that is called polyuria. Poly means many time passing the urine, polyuria. The fourth one, increased thirst, that is polydipsia. The fifth one, increased appetite, polyphagia, often feeling hungry. Okay, so these are all the main characteristics of diabetes mellitus. Thank you children, we will see you in the next class.